Hey everyone, before we dive into this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Trust me, you'll want to follow this story all the way through. My name is Alex Rain, I'm 32, and I used to think the scariest things in life were deadlines and traffic jams. That was until last month, when something happened that I still can't fully explain. I was driving back from a reporting gig in the Rockies, somewhere in the middle of Colorado's dense forests. It was a Friday night, pitch black, and the only sound was my own breathing and the hum of the engine. I had taken this route countless times, but that night felt different, almost like the air itself was holding its breath. I remember glancing at the rearview mirror, and for a split second, I thought I saw a flicker of light following me, a kind of sharp, white-blue glow. At first, I shrugged it off, thinking it was a reflection or maybe a trick of the road signs. But then it happened again, and again. Every time I glanced back, the light seemed to change shape, moving in a way that no car or motorcycle could. I felt my heart start to race. My journalist instincts told me to stay calm, to rationalize, but my gut screamed otherwise. I tried to speed up, thinking maybe it was someone playing a prank, but the lights mirrored my every move, matching my turns, my accelerations, sometimes appearing right above the treeline, floating as if gravity didn't apply. That's when the car started to feel heavy. My hands were sweaty, gripping the steering wheel tighter than ever. And then, I swear, I heard it. Not outside the car, not in the woods, but inside my head. A low, resonant hum, almost musical, vibrating through my skull, sending chills down my spine. I slammed the brakes, my tires skidding on loose gravel. The light stopped for a moment, hovering like a predator, and then it shot forward, faster than any human or machine could. And then I blacked out. When I came to, I was on the side of a dirt road, car still running, dashboard lights flickering. At first, I thought I'd hit something, maybe passed out from exhaustion. But my hands, my arms, there were strange marks, faint burns shaped in patterns I couldn't recognize. And the worst part? Something had been in the car with me. The seatbelt across the passenger side was twisted. The air felt different, as if I'd been somewhere else entirely. That's when I realized I wasn't just being followed. I was being hunted. Every night since, I've seen flashes outside my window, lights that disappear when I try to get a closer look, shadows that shouldn't exist in my apartment, and dreams. Oh God, the dreams of floating, of being lifted into a vast metallic space I can't describe, of faces without features staring at me in complete silence. I started documenting everything: audio recordings, timestamps, GPS logs, anything that might prove I'm not losing my mind. I have to share this. Someone has to know what's happening. And if I disappear tomorrow, well, at least this is the record of what I went through. Tonight, it came back. The lights, closer than ever, circling my building, hovering for minutes that felt like hours. My phone lost signal, cameras glitching, everything digital behaving as if being scrubbed. And I know they're watching, learning, maybe even waiting. I don't know why me, why now, or what they want, but I can feel it. Whatever it is, it's intelligent, deliberate, and terrifyingly patient. I have to keep moving. I have to survive long enough to tell the world. And tomorrow I'm going to find out what's really out there. I didn't sleep that night. Not a wink. Every sound outside my apartment made me jump. Cars, footsteps. Even the wind felt like it was part of some elaborate trap. I barricaded my door with a chair, kept a baseball bat close, even though I knew whatever was following me didn't exactly need a door to get in. By morning, I was a wreck, but the determination to understand what was happening kept me moving. I grabbed my backpack, stuffed it with cameras, batteries, notebooks, a flashlight, anything that could document this nightmare. I knew I couldn't stay in one place. They seemed to know my routines, my patterns. So I hit the road, driving through rural backroads, avoiding main highways, forests flanking both sides like silent witnesses to my terror. I made it to an abandoned lookout point I had visited once for a story on local wildlife. Perfect vantage. No neighbors, no lights, Just me and the vast expanse of the forest. As night fell again, I set up my cameras, every angle, infrared on one, motion sensor on another, my phone recording audio in a protective metal box I'd read could block electromagnetic interference. Hours passed. Nothing. I started to think maybe I had imagined the entire thing. Then the air changed. The temperature dropped abruptly, like someone had poured ice into the atmosphere. And then it happened. A sound, not loud, but unmistakable. A high-pitched frequency that made my teeth vibrate. I looked up and there they were. Not one, not two, but three shapes hovering silently above the treeline. Sleek, metallic, smooth, almost organic in design, glowing faintly from internal lights that shifted color from blue to green. They didn't make a single sound except that hum in my head. Resonating, probing, intelligent. My first instinct was to run, but my body froze. I knew it would see me, know I was afraid, and that fear made it hungrier. And then, lights descended rapidly, surrounding me, enveloping the lookout, the forest, my car in a dome of strange energy. I felt weightless, my heart pounding like a drum in a cave. Then darkness, complete, suffocating darkness, like the world had been folded in on itself. And I was no longer standing on the lookout point. I was inside. That's the only way I can describe it. Inside. The world around me had changed. Metallic walls curved infinitely, glowing panels without seams, soft pulses of light moving along the surface. I floated, restrained by something invisible, yet somehow comfortable. And then I saw them. Eyes without pupils, bodies without joints, moving in ways my mind couldn't process, observing me like a scientist might examine a specimen. One approached, and I swear I could hear words, not spoken, but thought directly into my consciousness. Curious, adaptive, fear detectable. My brain couldn't comprehend language anymore, yet I understood perfectly. Panic surged, and I tried to fight it, but the restraints tightened, not in pain but in control. They wanted to study me. I could feel it. Time lost meaning. Minutes, hours, days? I don't know. I remember floating in a chamber, lights shifting, instruments scanning, probes touching me, not painfully, but intimately, cataloging my biological and psychological responses. And then, as suddenly as it began, I was back. The lookout point, my car, the forest. It was night still. Cameras flashing, batteries drained, my recorder completely blank. But on my arm, strange symbols glowed faintly, etched into my skin like a secret map. And I knew they weren't done with me. They would come again. I had to move. I had to find answers before it was too late. I barely slept for the next 3 nights. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw them. Those faceless beings, floating in that impossible metallic space, watching, analyzing. My phone buzzed constantly with interference, strange signals I couldn't trace, like they were leaving messages just for me. I began to notice subtle changes in myself. My reflexes sharpened, my vision seemed clearer at night, my hearing more sensitive. At first, I thought it was paranoia, stress, but deep down I knew it was something else. They had left a part of themselves behind, or perhaps extracted something from me. I started documenting everything obsessively, hoping patterns would emerge. That's when I noticed it. Every time I slept near a window, I saw faint silhouettes hovering just outside, almost transparent, fading whenever I blinked or looked directly. They were patient, studying me, hunting me. Then the dreams returned. More vivid, more invasive. I was no longer just observing, they were teaching me or conditioning me. I'd wake up in my car miles from where I had fallen asleep. Roads I didn't recognize. Landscapes that didn't exist on any map. One night, I drove for hours only to end up back at the lookout point. That's when I realized I was trapped in their game, their experiment. There was no escape in the conventional sense. Only understanding could save me. I began researching, looking into reports, witness accounts, government files. Anything about unexplained disappearances, UFO sightings, abductions. Patterns emerged. Isolated locations, small towns, witnesses often alone at night. All pointing to a single possibility. They weren't just random, they were selective. And me? I had been marked for some reason I couldn't yet comprehend. I started carrying a camcorder and recording everything, including myself. To the outside world, it looked like a man losing his mind. But I had to have evidence. One night I felt it, the pull again. That familiar hum, vibrating through my skull. Not loud, just persistent. I followed it, driving deep into the forest. My cameras captured static waves, distorted shapes in the shadows. And then, I saw it, one of the ships hovering silently, just above the tree line. I should have run. I didn't. Something compelled me to approach, to understand. And that's when it happened. A beam of light shot down, enveloping me. I floated again, not resisting, not fighting, just suspended. Inside, the chamber was different this time. Warmer, almost comforting. Walls shifting like liquid metal. Soft light bathing everything. They approached, but instead of studying, one reached out, and I felt a connection. Images, thoughts, emotions, all flooding into me. They showed me stars, galaxies, civilizations older than human history, technology beyond comprehension, and then my life. Memories, fears, regrets, every pain and joy, and I understood. They were not malevolent in the way we perceive. They were explorers, scientists, observers of life forms, but their methods, abductions, probing, conditioning, were foreign to human morality. And they needed to know me, to see how I reacted under fear, stress, and survival instincts. They wanted a specimen, yes, but also a story, a consciousness capable of experiencing what they could not. I realized I had a choice. Resist and be trapped in endless cycles, or cooperate and maybe learn, survive, maybe even understand. I agreed, not with words, but with thought, and the connection ended. I was back, again at the lookout point, night heavy around me. My skin bore new symbols, not painful, glowing faintly, pulsing with life. But I was alive, and I knew they had left something in me. Knowledge, awareness, a mark I couldn't erase. I've spent the last few weeks trying to piece together what happened, trying to return to a normal life, but there is no normal anymore. Every time I step outside, I feel their gaze, subtle, almost imperceptible. But there, I started noticing strange coincidences. Objects moving slightly when I'm not looking, shadows shifting unnaturally, patterns in the stars that seem to align with the symbols etched into my skin. I know they're still watching, still waiting, but something has changed. I can feel it, a strange bond, a connection that wasn't there before. And with it, knowledge about the universe, about patterns, about the fragility and resilience of life. But that knowledge comes at a cost. Sleep is elusive. Crowds feel suffocating. Technology behaves oddly around me. My cameras pick up shapes, flashes of light, whispers I cannot fully understand. I've started traveling, seeking out other reports, other people who have seen, felt, or been taken. And slowly, I'm piecing together a network of experiences, a web of understanding that stretches further than any one mind could grasp. Last night, I went back to the lookout point, the place it all began. The forest was quiet, the stars blanketing the sky. I set up my cameras one last time, not for proof, not for myself, but for anyone who might come after me, anyone who might need to know what we are not alone, that there are things in the universe watching, learning, patient beyond comprehension. I stayed until dawn, and then it happened. A flicker in the sky, faint at first, then unmistakable. 3 shapes, silent, moving with precision, hovering above me. But I was not afraid. I felt something else, curiosity, understanding, and a strange calm. One of the beings lowered closer, the light of its internal glow reflecting off the trees. And then, as suddenly as it appeared, it was gone, fading into the vastness of the sky. I was left alone, yet not alone. I realized now that this was not an end, but a beginning. I carry a part of them with me, a gift, a burden, a mark of what it means to be seen by something beyond human comprehension. My life has changed forever. I walk among people, yet my mind drifts to the stars, to the places they showed me, to the understanding that the universe is alive, watching, and endlessly patient. And one thing is clear, I will never run again. Not because I'm brave, but because I understand. They will return, and when they do, I will be ready. I will meet them not as a victim, but as someone who has seen, who has learned, and who carries their mark, a witness to the impossible. This is my story. The world may never believe it, but I have felt it, lived it, survived it. And the stars above, quiet and distant, remind me that what hunted me once may now be a guide, a presence, a shadow and light intertwined with my fate. I will continue to document, to share, to warn, and perhaps one day someone will understand. But for now, I look up, I breathe, and I wait because the universe is patient and so must I be.